Hello, and welcome to the Daily Space for today, Wednesday, July 22nd, 2020. I am your host, Annie Wilson. Most Mondays through Fridays, our team will be here putting science into your brain. Usually Wednesdays are for Rocket Roundup, and today is no different. Let's get to it, shall we? First up, 4 super secret satellites were launched from the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport aboard a Northrop Grumman Minotaur 4 rocket on July 15th at 1:46 p.m. UTC. There is not one, but 2 mission patches for this launch. According to a Facebook post from the National Reconnaissance Office, the patches feature 2 warrior figures working together to defend our nation's interests and deny our enemies sanctuary. These patches include the phrase, "Our time has come," which symbolizes that these payloads will enable the NRO's continued support to both defense and intelligence operations in support of national security. Bonus fact! The first 3 stages of the Minotaur 4 utilize government-furnished solid rocket motors from decommissioned Peacekeeper intercontinental ballistic missiles. And even though it was super secret, we still have launch video. So here we go. Reminder.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Liftoff of the Northrop Grumman Minotaur rocket carrying 4 L-129 spacecraft to orbit for the National Reconnaissance Office, marking 20 years of Minotaur launches and 14 years of partnership with Wallops Flight Facility and the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport.
Vehicle attitude and flight path are nominal. Pitch over complete.
Check step 92, 93, 94,
Vehicle
95.
avionics power is nominal.
Passing Mach 2, motor pressure nominal.
T plus 36 seconds. Entering max Q. Attitude nominal.
Passing Mach 3 at maximum stage 1 thrust of over 5,000 pounds.
There's solid.
Mach 4, vehicle's half original mass.
There's a solid rocket fuel. They don't mess around. They just go. Go, 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 go. All right. Next up, on July 19th at 9:58 p.m. UTC, a JAXA H-2 Alpha rocket launched the Emirates Mars mission. This is the first interplanetary mission for the UAE. The orbiter is expected to arrive sometime in February 2012 and will study climate and weather on Mars. There are 3 instruments on board. First up is the Emirates Mars Infrared Spectrometer. According to information from the mission website as well as Gunter's space page, it was developed by Arizona State University and will study the lower atmosphere of Mars in the infrared band and will measure the global distribution of dust, ice clouds, water vapors, and temperature profiles. Second is the Emirates Exploration Imager, a multi-band camera capable of taking 12 megapixel images. It has 3 UV, that's ultraviolet, filters and 3 visible range filters that will be used to measure ice, dust, and ozone in the atmosphere of Mars. Finally, the Emirates Mars Ultraviolet Spectrometer will determine the abundance and variability of carbon monoxide and oxygen in the thermosphere on sub-seasonal timescales, calculate the 3-dimensional structure and variability of oxygen and hydrogen in the exosphere, and measure the relative changes in the thermosphere. And we have launch video. Reminder, rocket launches are loud.
メインエンジンスタート。
今メインエンジンミッション。
ミサイル B 点火。リフト。
ミサイル B ミッションリフト。
H2 UA ロケット42号機は2020年1月20日午前6時56分14秒に種子島宇宙センターから打ち上げられました。
We have a liftoff of its vehicle number 42 from the JAXA International Space Center at 6:58:14 a.m. on July 20, 2020, Japan Standard Time.
打ち上げ以降、ロケットの管制は西延発射管制塔から竹崎総合司令塔に引き継がれています。
Following liftoff, the operation control of the launch vehicle has been switched from the blockhouse to the launch control center.
It's really hard to track the rockets once they get going that far up and that fast.
東方向の太平洋上へ飛行しています。
The H2 is now flying above Pacific Ocean to the east.
ロケットは正常に飛行中であり、種子島の地上局は正常にロケットの追尾を行っています。
The H2 flight is on course, and the Taneshima station is tracking the launch vehicle very well.
There you go. Finally, on July 20th at 9:30 p.m. UTC, SpaceX launched the Anasis 2 for South Korea from Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral. Anasis 2, which stands for Army, Navy, Air Force Satellite Information System 2, is South Korea's first dedicated military communications satellite. Not much else is known because it's a super secret military mission. Good news though, SpaceX pulled off a hat trick, Falcon 9's landing was successful, and both fairing halves were caught. This is the first time that both fairing halves have been caught. And yeah, there's launch video. Reminder, rocket launches are loud. That bit you see venting is just steam.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight. T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. M1D propulsion is nominal.
Plus 40 seconds. Everything looking good? That's the call out. Says M1D engines are throttling down, getting ready to reduce vehicle acceleration in preparation for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the bottom of the throttle bucket, as they call it. Now the Merlin engine's coming back up to full power as we get ready to go supersonic.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Supersonic, we're coming through the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Vehicle has reached maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Guidance engineer confirms we're through the period of greatest pressure on the vehicle. Continuing downrange, trajectory looks good. Propulsion looks good. Avionics looks good.
All right, so that was liftoff. And of course, it would not be a SpaceX launch without the landing.
About 350 nautical miles off the coast of Florida.
Start of terminal guidance.
And in terms of velocity of that first stage, drag alone is slowing the first stage down another 80%. That landing burn will take us back to get that last 20%, touch us down safely.
On the right is the video feed of the second stage. And the left is just read the instructions. We're waiting literally for the
Just
first
under 10
stage
seconds
to
from
touch
landing
down.
burn and Seco 1.
Seco.
That's second engine cutoff.
Stage 1, landing burn, startup.
We have confirmation of both landing burn and SECO-1. We're waiting confirmation of a good orbital insertion for that Anasis 2 satellite. And the landing
Stage
legs
one.
also, landing legs are deploying now.
Nominal park orbit insertion.
And there it is. That is our 57th successful landing of Falcon 9 on our drone ship.
On the drone ship, just read the instructions. All right, to wrap things up, here's a running tally of a few spaceflight statistics for the current year. There are currently 4 toilets in space. 2 toilets have burned up in the atmosphere. Humanity has put a whopping 557 satellites into orbit, and 541 of those satellites have came directly from launches. So far this year, there have been 55 launch attempts, including 7 failures. I keep track of launch attempts by where they are launched from, otherwise known as spaceport. Here's that breakdown. China, 19, USA, 18, Kazakhstan, 4, Japan, 3, Russia, 3, New Zealand, 3, French Guiana, 2, Iran, 2, and Israel, 1. Your useless space fact for the week comes to us from List 25 via community member Flamelord, who wanted to remind us that Jupiter's mass is 2.5 times greater than that of all of the other solar system planets combined. And that rounds out our show for today. Thank you so much for listening. I have been your host, Annie Wilson. Today's script was written and edited by Dave Bullard, Gordon Dewis, Ali Pelfrey, and myself. Our web content will be produced by Beth Johnson. Our executive producer and fearless leader is Dr. Pamela Gay. The Daily Space is a product of the Planetary Science Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to exploring our solar system and beyond. We are here thanks to the generous contributions of people just like you. The best way you can support us is through our Patreon at patreon.com/CosmoQuestX. Like us, please share us. You never know whose life you can change by adding a daily dose of science.